Well, here we are, beginning of the new year, and surprise, surprise, my first video is on Paul Watson, who is such a liar and spinner of truth. He really, really needs to become a politician, because he'd be absolutely bloody perfect at it. He really would. Now, what am I talking about? Well, the first thing, he talks about how America is pushing, CNN is pushing for this British-style gun ban, ignoring the fact that, oh yes, this ban has worked, and, oh, Britain has, one of the lowest gun violence rates of crime in the UK, or not in the UK, in the world. So, that's the first thing. He ignores the fact that the country that he lives in, the gun control works. Now, America, I don't know what kind of program would work, but they need to do something. You need to stop arguing between, this get rid of all the guns, because all the guns, it would work, but it would take time to work. And the opposite, on the other side of, let's just flood the America with guns, let's just arm everyone. Because that wouldn't work either. Any mass shooting would quickly turn into, an all-out shootout. Not only that, he then goes on to say that if someone had been armed, if only someone had been armed at the school, it might have been stopped. Well, guess what? Let me use Columbine as an example. Because guess what? There was an armed officer at Columbine. He got into a shootout with one of the shooters. He wasn't able to stop him. So, the fact that if someone was armed, there's possibly likely, they could have done something, maybe stopping him, but there's also the other option of they could have died and not being able to stop them. He completely ignores this. Now, the other thing, let's go on to the other thing of, he wants the Syrian rebels, who are, this is the best thing. Why, you've got to ask yourself the question, why are the Syrians rebelling? Because Paul evidently doesn't understand it himself. Why? For the past 5 decades, one party has been in rule in Syria. They've not allowed anyone else, only them. They've got to make the rules, only them. The Arab Spring comes along, they have mass protests. Let us have our democracy back, let us vote new people in power, step down. And what happens? Syria deploys its army, with orders that they are allowed to shoot into the protesters. This very quickly turns from protests into an open armed revolt. Watson doesn't understand this. Instead, he's trying to portray all the Syrian rebels who are fighting against an oppressive regime as they are terrorists, and that they want to do all these, things, when all they are doing is they are trying to fight for freedom. The very thing that not only him and Alex Jones decry every single day. They want freedom. And apparently, if it were up to Jones and Watson, then they shouldn't be allowed any political freedom. They should be basically forced to allow the Ba'ath Party pretty much to rule forever. It's absolutely astounding, the fact that he gets away with so many lies, and I'm absolutely appalled that he's from the UK. He's the most worst reporter I've ever known, and it's all spin and lies that he's basically been telling, and I can't believe it. I'd love to debate him at some point. I doubt I ever will. But he's an absolute liar of the first calibre.